Shalom, shalom, family. It's the Hebrew Life. It's Q.P.A. Jerusalem. And I'm back with another lesson, man. This is Q.A. I mean, Q.P.A. Now, we changing it up, man. It's questions, problems, and answers. We giving y'all the full spectrum, man. So y'all tune in today on this Shabbat. And we finna hit y'all with an amazing show. Let's do it. Let's go. Mark, ready, set, go. Mark, ready, set, go. Mark, ready, set, go. Cold like Chicago snow. Holla can't keep police. Making room in the building for my people like it's lease. When we play for keeps. Killing beats my specialty. Tony Hawk, kick, flip me, twist me, grind a specialty. If my flow is drugs, I'm like schedule 1, you schedule 3. Serve the most high so I could become a better me. Know the game ain't free, gotta pay attention. She is hot up in the kitchen, she had them flame. Yeah, man. What's up with it? It's the Hebrew Life. Shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. It's a special day. You know what I mean? We finna hit y'all with a special show, man. All praise to the Most High and the Holy Spirit for giving me the knowledge and the power to bring y'all this knowledge today. And none of this knowledge I'm bringing to y'all today is for y'all to fear, but just to understand the times we living in and to incite some encouragement to move a little faster. And whatever you're doing, if that's coming to the Lord, don't waste no time. Like Isaiah 55 said, find the Lord while he can be found, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to kick this off with a few things, man. I'm checking everything. Let me check the comments. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put you want to join the room, I'm going to put the comments in the room. I mean, the StreamYard encryption code in the room. So y'all could copy and paste it, whatever y'all want to do, man. How y'all been, man? How was y'all week? How was everybody week? I hope y'all had a blessed week. If not, man, I hope this video leads you to better times in your life, you know what I'm saying? And a closer understanding with the Lord. You know, so I got a few things I want to share, man. It's a lot of news that happened this week. Think about, you know what I'm saying, how I'm going to start this. Okay, I got the comments. Shalom, Mariah. How you doing? Good to hear from you. Shalom, shalom. All right. What we got? What we got? Okay. So I'm trying to get a few things going on. I want to do this in the best order possible, but it might not be possible.
This morning, that's the biggest aftershock yet following that 5.5 quake that hit that same area late yesterday afternoon.
Sitting in for Jonathan Hessen. And in today's top stories, after ceasefire talks in Egypt falter, cross-border hostilities intensify. A first Israeli civilian has been killed during Gazan rocket fire that directly struck a residential building in the town of Rehovot. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reveals that Washington has prepared military options to deal with Iran's nuclear program. Cross-border hostilities between Israel and the Iranian proxy Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group, also known as the PIJ, intensified throughout the country today.
Нацистов и их пособников, а память о подлинных героях пытаются стереть и оболгать. Их цель, и здесь нет ничего нового, добиться распада и уничтожения нашей страны, перечеркнуть итоги Второй мировой войны. создают
So if you didn't know, man, Putin put on a very powerful speech. He said that America is doing the same thing as the Nazis. And he said they defeated the Nazis before and they don't mind defeating them again if it comes through the West. Oppression. Said they creating Russophobia in the news and making people feel like Russia's a threat. Russia said they want peace, and they said they don't want a war. So this is what, from my information, this is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying, fam. So yeah, that's what I've been saying, fam. I've been seeing a lot of, talk about, Ukraine and Russia trying to make it work. But then, when the spring kicked off, Ukraine just sent the offensive of missiles, you know what I'm saying, to the areas to fight the soldiers in Bakhmut. So I don't see this war stopping no time soon. You know what I'm saying? The talks of peace is really dwindling out. I don't think it's gonna ever be a peace between them. According to the scriptures, the horn is supposed to knock the whore off the beast. You know what I'm saying? It was nations prepared by God that wouldn't agree with America and her whoredom. Um, let's see what else we got for y'all.
This morning, that's the biggest aftershock yet following that 5.5 quake that hit that same area late yesterday afternoon near Lake
Earthquakes in
Almanor,
diverse
northeast of
places.
Chico. It was felt as far south as downtown Sacramento and as far east as Reno. There are no reports of any injuries, but the quake was strong enough to cause moderate damage to businesses and homes. The Plumas Pines Resort posted these images of toppled wine and liquor bottles at its restaurants. Dishes also crashed down to the ground along with other restaurant supplies.
We noticed that there were drips coming about right where we're standing from all of our liquor bottles that broke upstairs in our storage room.
I came in here as fast as I could, and there were about 12 other people that came in, grabbed a broom, and helped clean up.
Well, people who live in this part of the state tell us they can't seem to catch a break when it comes to natural disasters.
After the Dixie Fire, after all we've been through, it's like, little earthquake, we're going to clean up and be fine.
This wickedness is coming on to this nation. I don't think they understand that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they understand it, family. Let me check the chat. Let me see if anybody want to join and comment on this. We're going to keep running through the list of videos, you know what I'm saying, of what's been going on. It's crazy, the more catastrophes happen, the more they try to put it together, but they don't put the signs together that, the Most High is not happy with the actions of this country and, what's going on around the world, with anybody around the world. We have earthquakes in Turkey. There's been continual earthquakes and talks of, San Andreas and all these different things that, California breaking off via, natural disasters. We don't know if this is going to happen in my lifetime. I can't say, but I know the Bible speaks about, the breaking of the lands and earthquakes in diverse places and mountains not being able to be seen anymore because of the events that's going to occur on the earth. So let's get it. Like I said, Shabbat Shalom, man. Y'all just tuning in. It's Q.P.A. Questions, problems, and answers. We do answer people questions, problems, and they answers, and we try to answer a little bit about what's going on in the world, and try to keep people up to date and being a watchman on what's going on. Like I said, this is not for fear. This is just strictly for education and knowing what times we living in. And, everybody has to save their own salvation. You do what you need to do for yourself and your family in these times. But the scriptures give us strict, instructions on how we should be and what spirit we should be in and what should be on our mind in these times.
The charges filed in that subway chokehold death, both the former Marine's attorney and the victim's family speaking out now about the case. ABC's Aaron Katursky joins us with the latest on that story. Aaron, good morning.
Whit, good morning to you. Daniel Penny is now out on bail. The family of Jordan Neely is planning a funeral, and everyone is still trying to make sense of what happened on that subway car. When you see some of the images, you may find them disturbing. This morning, 24-year-old Marine veteran Daniel Penny is free on a $100,000 bond after he surrendered to face a manslaughter charge over a videotaped chokehold death that roiled New York City. Prosecutors reviewed this video that shows Penny choking Jordan Neely after witnesses said Neely was making threats and scaring passengers, but that there was no indication he was violent.
We don't want it where you can kill someone because you thought there was a possibility they could do something to you. There was no attack.
Prosecutors said Penny's chokehold continued for several minutes, even after Neely stopped moving.
We disagree with the manslaughter charge. We think it should be murder because he knew it would happen.
Defense attorneys said they were confident Penny would be fully exonerated, releasing a statement saying he risked his own life and safety for the good of his fellow passengers. The unfortunate result was the unintended and unforeseen death of Mr. Neely. Neely was a subway performer known for impersonating Michael Jackson. His family said he had been traumatized by his mother's death and suffered from mental illness and homelessness. The Manhattan District Attorney said Jordan Neely should still be alive.
So the prosecution here has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that Daniel Penny committed manslaughter in the second degree, i.e. he recklessly caused the loss of life of Jordan Neely. On the defense side, I think that Daniel Penny is going to argue, listen, my client wasn't the only one that felt that they were in fear of their life.
About choking him without letting him go. Like he had a knife. He didn't have a weapon on him or anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's all BS, man. He didn't have a weapon on him. No gun, no knife, no blade. You got two people holding his hands while another person choking him. And they talking about manslaughter. And this dude is a former soldier, so you know the extent of, like, come on, man. This dude was a person who did Michael Jackson impersonations on the subway, so everybody know who he is. He lost his mother. He's going through mental problems. He might have been acting a little erratic on the subway, but it doesn't cause for his life to be taken. Him to be choked out while two other people hold his arms while the person choked him without knowing their strength, that they're killing somebody. This is ridiculous. But this is what's going on around the world, and people continue to want to be a part of this country that does these things to us. There's no righteousness, there's no justice. And no man should save us until Christ returns, until the Messiah returns, because we don't have no tanks. We don't have no airplanes. We don't have anything that could defend ourselves, physically. So a spiritual power must be given to us or bestowed upon us for us to win. If we can't do it now with our spirit, we don't have time to wait for Africa and for all black people to unify. That ain't what's going to happen. Christ said he came for division. He said he's taking a remnant. So everybody's thinking everybody has to get together for this to stop. You fooling yourself, because everybody will never come together. Our differences and the wickedness of man's heart is too much of a gap to close when it comes to humanity. Let's go. Let's keep going around.
Go on, Stanley.
Seeing what's going on.
I got a $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow.
Please. Go on, Stanley.
I got $100.
Sitting in for Jonathan Hessen. And in today's top stories, after ceasefire talks in Egypt falter, cross-border hostilities intensify. A first Israeli civilian has been killed during Gazan rocket fire that directly struck a residential building in the town of Rehovot. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reveals that Washington has prepared military options.
Let me stop. So we have more wars going on in the Middle East, more attacks on the Israeli nation. Now we know that the Bible says when the true Israelites, the true Jews come back into the land, there will be no more war. So why are they still getting attacked by bombs? Why is people still dying? Why is they having to have a defense system to block missiles from people hitting them? Because they're not the true people of the land. There's no peace in the land. People are still dying in the land, in the Holy Land. And they're lying and they're contrary to what Scripture says. It's clear cut as day.
Sitting in for Jonathan Hessen. And in today's top stories, after ceasefire talks in Egypt falter, cross-border hostilities intensify. A first Israeli civilian has been killed during Gazan rocket fire that directly struck a residential building in the town of Rehovot. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reveals that Washington has prepared military options to deal with Iran's nuclear program. Cross-border hostilities between Israel and the Iranian proxy Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group, also known as the P.I.J., intensified throughout the country today as Egyptian brokered efforts to formulate a viable framework for a truce remain out of reach. According to Egyptian and Palestinian sources, the main point of contention remains the P.I.J. demand for assurances that its commanders will no longer be killed in targeted strikes, which Israel resolutely refuses to deliver. Jerusalem's position remains steadfast that anyone seeking to hurt Israeli civilians will be held to account.
Whoever harms us will pay the price, as will his replacement. We are in the midst of a campaign on both offense and defense. Behind me is a David sling system, along with its commanders. This system successfully intercepted a rocket over the greater Tel Aviv area. We will continue to take action on both defense and offense until the end of the campaign. I would like to thank the soldiers who are doing sacred work here, defending the skies over our country and the citizens of the state. I ask you, citizens of Israel, to continue helping us protect you. Follow the instructions of IDF Home Front Command. Together, we will win.
Prime Minister Netanyahu made those remarks during a visit to Brigade 66, which mans the David Sling that scored its first successful operational interception over the skies of Tel Aviv yesterday. Incidentally, that system, which is the second layer of Israel's aerial defense array, was recently procured by Finland. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad has intensified indiscriminate rocket fire at civilian communities in southern and central Israel. And while so far over 95% of all incoming projectiles have been shot down, several managed to evade aerial defense and slammed into residential buildings or private residences over the past 48 hours. The first Israeli civilian to be killed during Operation Shield and Arrow died last night after his apartment sustained a direct hit in the central town of Rehovot, south of Tel Aviv. While relaying condolences to the victim's family, IDF Homefront Command Chief General Rafi Milo called on the general population to carefully follow advisories for self-protection and to not solely rely on military defense.
We are investigating and learning from this incident to better ourselves and bolster our defenses. What can already be learned is that the Iron Dome system, despite its amazing capabilities, does not provide hermetic defense. Therefore, it is very important to heed instructions from the Home Front Command.
One of the critical instructives that the Home Front Command has stressed must be followed by citizens is that they should immediately rush into any available bomb shelters or protected rooms as soon as they hear the air raid sirens. Such quick action just saved the life of Ashkelon resident Miriam Karen after her home was hit by missiles for the second time.
I think that in every home today, in the state of Israel, there should be a shelter, because you may think it won't happen to me. It does happen, and this is the second time in my house.
The Israeli public...
We got a dog. We got land that been stolen and given and stolen and given and taken and given. We getting our land back. The Most High gonna purge out the liars in the synagogue of Satan up out of that. Y'all just tuning in this Q.P.A, man. Question, problems, and answers. We answering all problems. Yes, we answering all questions. We handling all problems, and we got the answers. We got the answers. We just doing a weekly recap. Like I said, I ain't showing y'all none of this to be scared, or fear, or anything. This is just all to be aware. To be aware is to be alive. To know what's going on around you. Come on, man. That's wisdom. That's pure wisdom. So we got some more video. Let me see what we got.
This morning, that's the biggest aftershock yet following that 5.5 quake.
Hold up. We showed the whole fast, family. Y'all hold fast. We're gonna. So, anyway, y'all just tuning in, man. Welcome, man. Shabbat Shalom. So you got over in Pakistan. I'll try to show this. Let's see if there's some way I could show this. Phone tripping right now. Okay, no, stop the truth, man. Y'all know what it is. So anyway, Emerald Khan, I have a friend, do business with it. You know, I ain't gonna disclose what it is, so I don't want nobody coming for it. Out of Pakistan. And she told me before this stuff happened with Emerald Khan in Africa that you know, they had put in a coup over the original president and prime minister that they wanted. So what you have is an infiltration of the Pakistani government, them taking out somebody who's for the people and put somebody else in who's for democracy and for America in the West. So this caused a big uprising in Pakistan a couple months back. Now it's resurfacing because he has been arrested, Emerald Khan, for you know, what they're saying is false claims. Just another way of quieting him and making sure he won't be elected again. So yeah, man, this is what's going on around the world. A few little things. I got some more information. Y'all hold fast. Y'all hold fast. Making sure I get everything lined up. Other news. We have, so that was, you know, earlier what y'all seen, the man name was Daniel Penny, who had choked out the man on the subway. Like I was saying, Syria having sects of America and sects of Russia and Turkey in there fighting for the control of the country and the oil fields over there in Syria has caused Syria to want to join the Arab League again to protect themselves because they don't know who to trust. Emerald, like I was speaking earlier about in Pakistan, Emerald Khan, he's free on bail. So all of that, you know what I'm saying? They free him on bail. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure he's gonna have protection, but you know, it's all, you know, from what I'm hearing, it's all BS to try to lock up somebody so they won't never be. Same thing they kind of doing with Trump, where they don't want him to be president anymore, and they want to put some thing. But I ain't gonna use Trump as an example, because Trump probably is in way more illegal circles than this dude. The earthquakes in Northern Cali, you know what I'm saying, is real. You know what I'm saying? Earthquakes in diverse places. We know the Bible said this. We gotta understand, and in Romans 12:19, Yah said, "Let vengeance is His." So the Lord is having this vengeance on the earth. What He's doing and how He's doing it is really an amazing thing to see. To be honest, it's an amazing thing to witness. I'm just having faith, knowing that, the Lord has me protected in these times, where life is uncertain. Protection and God is uncertain. All these things going on in the world, it provokes uncertainty in the saint's heart. We got to be faithful to the Lord, and we got to understand that there's nothing they could do or bring that's going to bring us away from the love of the Most High and the love of His Son, because that's what we live off. Every word of the Lord, every commandment. This is what steers us where we need to go. So I'm gonna check the comments, see if anybody's saying that. We're gonna move forward. Like I was saying, in Isaiah 55:6, it says, "Find the Lord while He can be found." So that's what we want our sisters and brothers to do. We want them to find the Lord while He can be found. Don't question the Lord, trust the Lord, and let Him establish your path. And you can't lose out here. Be smart, be wise, pray for wisdom, pray for understanding, pray for the knowledge that you need in this hour of destruction that's coming upon the world and upon the Gentile nations who, and all the other nations that participated in putting their hands on His children, putting their hands on His gold and His precious things. The system is clamping tighter because they know that the awakening is real. They know those dry bones will live. So they pulling out all stops to pull people away from God. They pulling out all stops to make people feel that there's no God, or that one God is bigger than the true God. You know what I'm saying? So they putting out, they boosting more money and more false prophets in these religions of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, naturalism, Egyptian, Moors, all these different things that's not of the Lord. They're false gods. We got to understand that that's what the devil's intention was, to get you to not serve the Most High, to come out His protection, to think that everything that you have and everything that you've done has strictly been from you, and that you haven't had the Holy Spirit guiding you. You haven't had the Lord behind you the whole time, carrying you and helping you make these decisions and helping you through these hard times and giving you the strength when you had none. We can't let, the evils of this world block our mindset and block our path that's narrow, that's straight. We can't start taking all these different shortcuts and paths to the Most High and His righteousness. It's a narrow path, and you ain't gonna find many on it. So we need to thank the Most High, ask for forgiveness for things that we've did, things we don't know we've did. Ask God for forgiveness of our debts, and our debts to others, our debtors and our debts, our trespasses against the Lord, and the people who trespass against us. And we need to be in the full spirit of the Most High Son, Christ, who came and left the example of how we should live in these times under Roman oppression, under Gentile oppression and Gentile rule. He showed us how to move. We still have our culture to keep. We have the Feast of Tabernacles coming up in a few months. It'll be here in no time. And we need to be thankful, and we need to keep our hand towards the plow and on the plow and don't look back, because all that's back is destruction. You know, unless you turn it to stone like Lot wife, trying to look back in some type of admiration of this country that's fallen. When it's over with, it's over with. And every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Christ is King. I'm Base Jerusalem. It's the Hebrew Life family. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. I will be back. Shalom.